Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Friday, October 11th, 2024. I've been doing a countdown of my favorite video games of all time through each day of the year, and coming in at number 82 is Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. I have two disclaimers to make at the start of this video. First, I borrowed a friend's guitar controllers to play this game and record, and then we discovered that they had been sitting in a closet for so long, something inside them had corroded and they no longer had wireless functionality, so I could not record with them. That means this is being played with a PlayStation 3 controller, just like the normal DualShock controller, which is, well, less than ideal. Second, and on a related note, this is a brand new file. I originally had the game on Xbox 360, but haven't had any of that in at least a decade. I unlocked everything in the game and beat every song except Through the Fire and Flames on Expert, because that song is outrageous. Amazing, but outrageous. I even beat The Devil Went Down to Georgia on Expert. Once. My original plan was to unlock a decent chunk again on this new file, but not having the guitars sucked so much, I just recorded the bare minimum. That being said, playing on controller isn't actually that bad if you only play on easy or normal. Using just the shoulder buttons and triggers is actually kind of fun, even though you do miss out on a lot of the other fun components, like just the physicality of doing the strumming and the excitement of nailing hammer-ons and pull-offs, and really just the guitar feels much better. Secret third disclaimer, this is really a ranking for every Guitar Hero game I had played prior to World Tour, where I think they kind of lost their identity trying to keep up with the rhythm game arms race, so it's technically also for Guitar Hero, Guitar Hero 2, Guitar Hero Encore Rocks the 80s, and Guitar Hero Aerosmith. Honorable mention to Guitar Hero on Tour, which was the Nintendo DS version that came out with a little plug-in button attachment so you could have the guitar buttons. That game wasn't good, mostly because it caused me a lot of hand cramps and did not earn a spot on my rankings. But it tried really hard to pull off something that was probably impossible, so it gets some credit for that. But I put Guitar Hero 3 as the game on the list because it's the culmination of all the lessons learned throughout the different games and is the best, both in mechanical feel and song selection. As you've been able to see, notes come at you from the top of the screen, and you have to hit the note when it reaches the bottom. For the rest of the video, I'll be talking about playing with the guitar controllers. On the top of the neck, there's 5 buttons in the order of green, red, yellow, blue, and orange that you see at the bottom of the screen. You have to be holding the correct color buttons down and strum at the time the notes hit the bottom bar. For just the circles, you strum once, but for circles with a line, you have to keep holding the note after you strum. On these held notes, there's even a whammy bar you can play around with to rack up extra points. You might also notice some notes are lit up with a white glow in the center of the circle. That's because those are the hammer-on and pull-off notes. If you hit the last normal note before them, you can play these lit up notes without strumming, as long as you don't miss any of them. I mentioned that Guitar Hero 3 is mechanically the best, and that's in large part because it has the best timing window for these compared to the other titles. Notably, you can also keep holding notes further on the left with these if you are playing a note further on the right. This means that the strategy for Expert Through the Fire and Flames at the start of the song, when you keep bouncing between green and other hammer-ons, is that you just have a friend hold the green button down while you play the others. Technically, you could just have one hand up there and then the other hand tapping the other buttons, but I hate doing that. I don't know how people do it without feeling like your arms are just wrong. You see, they intentionally went a little more balls to the wall on this game, and the average song difficulty is definitely harder than the previous ones, so they intentionally widened this window a bit to make the hammer-ons and pull-offs easier to execute to help ease the difficulty curve with these harder songs. I've played an insane amount with Guitar Hero, so these little differences in game feel become immediately noticeable to me and are kind of a big deal. Throughout each song, you'll also see lit up notes in the shape of stars instead of circles. If you hit them all, you gain a bit more star power. Once you have enough, you can tilt your guitar upwards to activate it, giving you extra points, and importantly, they fill your fail meter more. Normally, I'd want to use it to maximize the points, but if I'm just learning a song or it's some of the hardest ones in the game, I'll save it for the sections of the song I struggle with so I don't just lose. There's a little meter on the side of the screen, and if the needle gets all the way to the red, you fail out of the song. That's basically everything there is to know mechanically, but there's actually more to the game than just playing songs. The story mode is actually, I think, really fun. This is the main way you unlock more songs, but it's also neat in its own right. You start off being some unknown band in a hole-in-the-wall bar and work your way up through bigger and better venues until you've eventually sold out giant stadiums. While Guitar Hero 3's venues never got as cool as playing Freebird at Stonehenge in Guitar Hero 2, which was awesome, there's something really unique about it that the others don't have. Throughout different parts of the story, you'll have boss battles. These aren't just challenging songs, but they're against actual, real-life guitar heroes. Duel against the likes of Slash or Tom Morello, and less real-life, but equally cool, the actual factual devil. You'll take turns playing different parts of the song in a tug-of-war style scoring system. It's a lot of fun to do in the few moments it happens, but I am glad it's not a focus of the game, just an additional thing you can do that's really interesting and adds to the whole experience. Throughout the campaign, you'll also earn money from your songs, which you can spend on new characters to play as, such as Slash and Tom Morello, outfits and guitars to customize them, and bonus songs that aren't a part of the campaign. You could argue that unlocking all of these things is beating the game, but that certainly didn't stop me from playing another 1,000+ hours, probably a few thousand, a lot. As a spoiler, there's more rhythm games with guitars left to rank on the list, but they only rank higher than Guitar Hero because of the non-guitar elements. But if I'm playing solo, Guitar Hero 3 is the greatest rhythm game ever made, and the only game to ever make me reach for an ice pack. Join me tomorrow as I talk about my 81st favorite game, where losing is still fun because I get to tug on the main character's face and it's funny.